From Content 360, this is the state of client acquisition. Welcome to the State of Client Acquisition. This is your host, Michael Bohannes. In today's episode, I am giving a free consultation to a gentleman called Francesco. Francesco is selling to eco-conscious brands and he helps them with paid ads, and he is pre-revenue, so he's been selling paid ads, consulting and agency work before, but this is his first foray into this niche, so he does not have product market fit yet. And so we are talking about how he can get clients for this group on LinkedIn. Now, I edited the conversation only at the beginning. I cut off the first part where it took us just too long to get started. There was a lot of numbers shared, so I didn't want to bore you with that. The gist of it is that, in my opinion, Francesco is trying to scale client acquisition too early, and this is also what I'm opening the conversation with in the upcoming recording. So just so that you're not surprised that we get straight into the middle of things, this is because the beginning was a little bit long-winded and I didn't want to subject you to that. So without further ado, let's get right into this week's episode. That's the main message that I have for you is I really think you are trying to automate far too early. The way how to get those high ticket clients, which if you had a client, they're potentially a £10,000 plus client for you. I personally believe the only way to do that is to go as personalized as possible and to ditch any automation at the beginning. You don't have a validated product yet. You have not sold into this niche before. You have very little, as far as I know, you have very little credibility in that niche. You're not a guy who breathes eco-friendly products who have been in this space for years and years and years, right?
Yeah,
correct. So you have very little credibility in this market, and you have, as in terms of running an agency, you have some experience in selling and closing, but not a lot, right? So I think the only way to do this is to initially to eat really a lot of humble pie, to ditch all automation, start conversations that are purely exploratory, where you say, listen, I saw you run this brand. I love what you do. I was following and really spent like half an hour researching them and have something to say about their product that you think that's really unique, so that they see that you've put time into it, that you're not just a fly-by-night kind of guy. And then you say something like, I really love your space. I really want to get kind of be very active in it. I have plenty of experience in running paid ads. And I love your niche. I would love to just explore 15, 20 minutes, how I could possibly help you. I have nothing to sell to you, you tell them. Although if at the end, then they say that they really have a point, you can say, listen, I said this is not a sales conversation, but honestly, I think I could help you. Everybody will understand that. Everybody will accept that. But initially, you just go with, I have nothing to sell to you. I just would love 15, 20 minutes of your time. And in exchange, I would love to do a video review for you. I've noticed already a few things in your paid ads using SEMrush, whatever, and I've seen already some of the things that you could be tweaking. I'd be very happy to give you a 10-minute video review after that, telling you what you could be doing better. And you could take that to your agency and ask them what they're doing, right? If you send such a thoughtful message to 10 people, I would be very surprised if you don't get 1 or 2 calls out of that. And in that call, you can then really ask them market researchy questions. You can say, listen, so I'm trying to break into this space. What are exactly your problems? What kind of agencies have you worked with? What were the issues that you faced? Okay, they were too expensive. They didn't get you the value that they said. Okay, what would you have preferred? And so on. This kind of really walk them through their pain points in the past. And that's how you're going to learn. But I would say you need at least 10 to 20 such conversations before you can actually close a really nice chunky deal.
So my question to you is, that's very helpful, actually. Thanks for that. But my question to you is now, so obviously you're recommending LinkedIn, but why could you not use emails as well? And because when I automate, emails are still, as I said before, still pre-qualifying these brands by actually taking a look at the website, paid ads and stuff like that, if they're ready, running any sort of ads on Google or whatever. So why can that now not happen, via emails? Whereas instead of, let's say, pitching, a demo call, like sounding a bit too salesy, you pitch that sort of market research call, basically. But why can you not do that through emails, if that makes sense?
Because then when you do, well, you mean automated emails where you just
Yeah,
blast?
because I'm still taking the time, to look at the brand and what they do. I'm still offering, like video audits, like send 7 to 10 minutes video audits, where I give them some strategies. And well, okay, maybe I'm pitching a demo call, which is not right, but I could maybe pitch that as a market research call, basically.
So the question is, why not do that? Well, first of all, because you've already sent 220 emails, you didn't get a single call out of it. That would be one reason.
Because maybe I didn't.
Second reason is because you're burning your territory. This is not a giant market, as in like there's not tens and hundreds of thousands of companies. Like in my world, there is hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of solopreneurs, consultants out there. So I can do email because the world is endless for me. For you, it isn't. And you are burning your market because they will associate your name with, if they will remember you, which is relatively unlikely, but those who will remember you will associate and something negative with you, namely a spam email with a link to a demo call, right? Which they're getting 20 of every day. So you're doing nothing to stand out. You're trying an automated method, a scalable method, before you have a proof of concept. And also because I can also do email because I have already successful client case studies, right? And that makes email plenty, like much easier, because I'm even referring to one guy who I got great results for. And especially this kind of really basic level social proof, I think is enormously useful for email, especially in any scenario where you don't know someone. And the good thing about LinkedIn is if you have a good profile, then a lot of that, if you really have a well-crafted profile, it can make up for social proof, not completely, but a little bit. And then people can look at you, is this guy serious? Does he have a good background and so on? So they can kind of do a little bit of sense check on you. With email, they cannot. So there's so many reasons why when you're at the early stages of a business, especially in your case, given that your market is limited, you should not do email mass.
Okay. I'll try and focus on LinkedIn. Let's say at least to get as you said, that 10 to 20 calls. And another question is, I've been actually not struggling, but quite limited, as you said, to finding prospects on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
What would you recommend?
So what comes up when you go into Sales Navigator and look for these types of companies?
I don't use Sales Navigator.
Okay, it's not that much, right? If you just, I think it is.
No, I used it before, but just I didn't see the point of using it anymore.
Well, okay, well it's useful because you can run plenty of demographic searches on it, and your niche will not be there as its own sector, but you could search within, let's say, e-commerce. There's going to be something, internet. There's going to be something, and then you search for keywords and search for eco, sustainable, green, and so on. And then you specify also the size of the company, which will put it into a ballpark that is realistic for you. And with that, you're going to get plenty of good results. Why not try that?
I might give it a try. So
that's one, right? Sales Navigator. There's always two ways. Behavioral search, demographic search. That's what I just described. Searching by these typical parameters that you can find in Sales Navigator. The other one is behavioral. Behavioral search being how people engage with content. So I would find some of those potential targets manually. You will know at least 10, 20 companies in your space. And then look at who their CEOs are following. There will be some influencers in the eco space, in the green, eco-conscious product space. Who are the influencers there? And many people following them and engaging on their content will be your target clients. So you can see there's going to be one guru, plenty of them, but let's take one. You look at his posts, you look at who is liking his content, his or her content, and then you open each of them, each of the likers who seem relevant, open them in a separate tab, and then you look at them and then you see, okay, yeah, they look reasonable. Then you add them saying, hey, I saw we're both fans of influencer name. Content would be great to connect. You're going to I get a 75% connection rate on that. And then you can start a conversation.
So do they actually, so what I've been doing, I'm a member of this CPG, startup group on Slack, where there's a lot of plant-based, brand owners, vegan, whatever. So a lot of prospects. So I've been actually adding them on LinkedIn, saying that we're both members, the group. But still, I get that a connection rate is not too bad. It's like it's around I believe around 48 or something.
That's good.
But none of them reply to the first message.
Well, it depends on what your first message is. What is your first message?
Well, I just say we're both members, the CPG startup group. It's always a great idea to connect with like-minded people in the eco-conscious space. I would love to connect.
Yeah, you're not asking a question, so why should they reply?
So what should I ask? Should I?
Well, what would you say to them if you imagine you're at a cocktail party? You know that the person standing there at the tuna sandwiches is your ideal target. What do you do?
Well, go and introduce myself and ask them a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. You would ask them something. What would you ask them?
I don't know. How long have you been around the brand for? I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Or how's it going? I don't know.
That's it.
You caught me a little bit off guard there because obviously
I know.
I'm overthinking it.
That's intentional. That's intentional because you need to. LinkedIn is a way for humans to connect with humans, and you can only connect with someone well if you actually start a conversation in a way that is neither salesy and sleazy, nor is just too passive. Right? You want people to. It's similar like in dating, when you are in a dating scenario, back when you still could date in bars and so on, when this was normal. You just have to walk up and calibrate your approach in a way that is neither too salesy and overt, oh my God, you have such beautiful eyes, or just too kind of weak as and say, hey, I'm Michael, how are you? It's just these two polar opposites. You need to get nicely in the middle. You need to be confident, yet also personalize your approach, right? You need to say something relevant to them, ideally something situational, something like, I saw you laughed when the presenter mentioned something about whatever, duck soup. How come you laugh? I wonder. It was funny, right? You ask something situational that happened there, or you just walk over and even say like, hey, how are the tuna sandwiches? And if you do that in a nice, confident way, that works. Okay, so that is the cocktail party scenario. You just need to strike up a conversation with something situational. And that, of course, in a cocktail party scenario is very difficult. And that's why people are very uncomfortable with cold calls, because of this immediacy. LinkedIn is so much easier because you have plenty of time to think and you can craft your first message. And the way you craft your first message is, especially initially, is to completely craft it based on their profile and or their content. So you ask them, hey, I see you've been at company for 2 years. And back in the last crisis, I saw you were at giant company X. How is that? We're in a different crisis now, but how are you weathering the storm now that it's very different, now that you're in such a different setting? Now you're in a small company. Before that, you were in a large company. That does two things. First of all, it's something situational, because we're talking about an economic crisis that we're currently in. And second, it shows that you actually taken the time to look at their profile, right? That matters. That is so important, that people see that you're not just kind of an automated spam bot and you're not just saying, hey, how you doing? Which any moron could ask, but that you're actually talking with them at eye level from one CEO to the other, right? You say, how was it in the last company? It must have been very different from now that you're running the show. How are you coping? That's already one thing. Or you simply really go and engage in some of their content and say, hey, that was a brilliant point. I really wanted to comment you on it. Where did you come up with that? Was there any specific experience that sparked this insight? Boom, you have a conversation going, man. That's how you get a 50% response rate with complete strangers, because they see that you are communicating with them at eye level, but not just the generic, oh, what should be my first line, right?
So what if they don't have anything on their profile? It happen a lot, actually. Most of them are not really that active. I mean, they're active, but they don't really post, anything profile.
They're going to have something in their profile, right?
Do you think I can also
company?
Yeah.
There's going to be at least a company info. There's going to be people who recommend them, right? You can say something like, oh, I saw the recommendation from John so-and-so. That must be great. I mean, you really seem to have hit a home with him. How are you doing now in terms of getting people of the John caliber? Something like that. Anything that shows that you've looked at their profile. I've yet to see, I always have clients who come to me, I just don't know what to say to this person, right? There's nothing on this content. And I just go through it and I find 3 conversation openers. It's just a thing of wanting to really kind of embracing this method and genuinely caring about the other person.
Definitely.
That is it. Like if you really genuinely care, you like them, right? You kind of by default, you have a I like people attitude. And you also think like everybody's running a business, is struggling one way or another. For nobody, it's a smooth ride. If you can kind of come across with that, you empathize and you ask a genuine question and you approach it from a sense of, hey, I want to help. That's my main thing. I want to help. My main goal is I want to find the truth in our interaction, the truth on whether I can be of help to this person or not. That's my main goal here, right? And if you do that, conversation openers will be a no-brainer. They will, once you get into the habit of that, it's going to be really easy, man.
I'll do that. I'll definitely do that.
Yep.
As you say, that definitely need way more knowledge about the industry and the market.
Yeah, definitely do that before scaling on any other kind of automated methods, man. It's just, you don't know your audience enough. That really is an issue. And I say this because I'm giving you the tough love because I care as well.
No, I like when people do that, because as I said again, I've been following these mentors. Sometimes, like you listen to way different people, like someone says emails is the best tool. Someone else says, LinkedIn is the best tool. Then you have to do this. Then you know your audience. Then you don't know your audience enough. So like you have all this stuff in your mind, so you're just trying to figure out, what works and what doesn't,
Yeah.
So
I hear this so often, and you're saying one truth that I keep hearing over and over. So it means that I have to do a piece of content on it. That's clear. How to pick from many different providers, many different methods, and so on. So there's 2 things. Number one is when you are starting out, you should not pick among methods. The only thing that you should be doing is get 20 exploration conversations with real people under your belt. I think anyone worth their salt, even if it's like an email marketing pro, will tell you that before you have product market fit, before you have proven that you can sell a complex service and get a client results, you need to be as customized as possible. And that is, of course, I'm talking high ticket. I'm not talking about selling shoes. Okay, so that is complex services. You need this manual one-on-one outreach. Anyone telling you anything different is full of shit, I think. And then once you have that, once you have product market fit, once you've sold at least 5 clients and you got at least 2 of them good results that they are happy with and are happy to go on record for, then you need to then you are kind of in the marketplace, you've proven yourself, and now it's time to decide on one viable method, something that will actually get you long-term results. And either one of those methods that are being advertised, whether that's working using Facebook ads for yourself, doing LinkedIn ads, building a proper funnel for these things, that absolutely can work. It will take a while to figure out, and you will probably have to invest quite a bit of money into it. But if you have it, go for it. in terms of organic methods, there is LinkedIn organic. You can do Facebook groups. You can do email marketing. What else is there? You can maybe even go experimental and try something like Clubhouse. Every one of those methods works one way or another. And then it's really up to you to choose which sounds like the most plausible one. And then it's important, stick with it. Once you've chosen one of those plausible sounding methods, stick with it for at least 3, if not 6 months. If after 6 months of exclusive focus on one method, you did not get yourself good results, then it's time to shift. Then it's time to move and try something else. But what people make a mistake in is that they try too many different things. They are dabbling in LinkedIn, they're trying Facebook ads, they're also running email marketing on the side. That's super wrong. You have to master one channel. And once you've mastered that, once you get a really predictable method into it, then you go on to the next one. And so you now wondering, oh, geez, yeah, there's so many different people, different providers selling me so many different things. To you, it doesn't apply. You're not there yet. You need to have 5 clients first. So for you, the personalized approach must be it's your one entry point into the club, to join the club. Once you're in the club, then you can look at all the options. Then you can pick which bar you're going to go to, but you are not in the club yet.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Makes sense. I appreciate that. Very, very helpful. I'll actually start from tomorrow. And actually, even from now, maybe. Anyway, another question. Ghosting. How do you deal with ghosting? Because actually, so I did send you a few messages on LinkedIn, only a few, like the past few days, and especially like this girl, I was talking to this girl and I sent her, a connection request saying inspiring, banner picture, because it was actually very nice. And then I asked her about something about her business. Anyway, she replied and asked her, if she asked me how I help brands, like in what way I help brands. And I told her what we do, blah, blah, blah. And then she was like, okay, I need help with both. And then she gave me a number straight away. So I got her number. I texted her on WhatsApp. I believe, that's what I needed to do, because she gave me a number. So I texted her on WhatsApp, then boom, she disappeared.
Yeah.
So how would you deal? How would you deal in that situation?
Every single channel like this needs to be pre-approved. She needs to have told you, text me on WhatsApp.
So why did she send me the number then?
I don't know. You need to, maybe she wanted you to call her. She was ready to have a call with you right then and there. I don't know. You would need to tell me, you need to show me the exact context.
Yeah, I mean, she said, how do you help brands? And I said, we do this, we help, we offer paid ads to eco-conscious brands, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, I was like, do you need help with anything in particular? And she was like, yes, both. So she meant, both Instagram and Facebook. Then number. I was like, okay, so I texted her on WhatsApp.
Oh, okay. So
it was a bit weird, and then she didn't reply anymore. She just ghosted me.
So many people treat WhatsApp, I think the majority of people treat WhatsApp as a personal communication channel. That's for private conversation. You did not get approval to text her on a channel that most people consider private, right? Personal, not private, just personally. Do you have friends and family on there? I think especially people who are employed use WhatsApp only for these purposes. I think mainly entrepreneurs also use WhatsApp for business, or people in small companies and so on. But the bigger the company gets, the less frequent. So I think that indeed was a mistake. I would have, in that case, especially because you want to get people on the phone, because you really need that, I would have called her straight away. She's giving you a number and she says, I will need help with both. And she gives you the number, call her in that moment. And if she's, oh, I was not ready for that. Ah, okay, I'm sorry. I thought you wanted me to call you. No worries. When would you like to talk? When would be a better time?
So and I asked her on WhatsApp, I was like, Francesco from LinkedIn, feel free to, shoot me a message or call me, when you've got a minute. That was a massive mistake. And then.
No, it was not. It's not a massive mistake. It's just that WhatsApp is really considered as a personal channel, and which she didn't give you the approval for, and she sent you the number. I think you just essentially missed an opportunity, right? Because she gave you the number. I think what I would do now, just to try to salvage it, I would just text her again on LinkedIn, not on WhatsApp. I would just say, hey there, name. I did send you a message on WhatsApp. Sorry if that's not the preferred channel. Was just wondering, is this still something you would like to talk about? Let's schedule a quick 15-minute get-together call, right? And let's schedule it. Don't send her a Calendly link yet. If she then responds to it, then you say, okay, would you like a scheduling link or would you like to agree in the good old way? She'll tell you, yeah, Calendly link is fine. You send the Calendly link, boom.
Okay, makes sense.
Cool.
Makes sense. But how do you usually deal with ghosting anyway, in general?
Well, you have to distinguish the different stages, right? So I don't, if I send somebody a first message or like an early stage top funnel message and they don't respond, I ignore it, because there's just so many fish in my pond that I'm only going to talk to people who actually want to talk to me. For other people, that's very different, right? If you have a total of 1,000 companies in your space, you will need a better strategy than that, right? So in your case, I would suggest that you have a bit more of a sophisticated strategy here. Like when you connect with somebody, first engage 2-3 times on their content, leave some meaningful comments, then just ask them a friendly question and so on. So slowly build that up, because you don't have that many companies to burn through. That's how I would approach it. But generally, the way I do it is when it's still top funnel, I don't do anything. If they ghost me, they ghost me. And that's not really ghosting because they've never started a conversation. And if we are already quite deep down in the conversation and I see that they have a problem I could help them with, and suddenly they fall off the radar, I give myself a calendar reminder for a week from now. And in the calendar reminder said, message Francesco Lucido again, right? And I put this also in my CRM. And then when the time comes, I send them, hey, is it something you still are interested in? No worries. If not, if priorities have changed, let me know. And then that bumps it up. And sometimes it turns into a call. I would say 20, 30%. It does turn into something, and the rest is they're just not interested. And then other ghosting, I mean, it happens rarely to me that people won't show up on the call. It does happen sometimes. I then just send them one message where it's like, hey, I was on the call. Is that you? Did you come in or did you forget or something like this? And then I'll see. Sometimes if they apologize, then I schedule another call. If they don't apologize, then I just go.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And also, last time you told me that I shouldn't be following up outcomes. So I ask you, how do you usually track? You say the CRM, but I ask, what sort of CRM, which one do you usually recommend? And you told me that I shouldn't be following up, because I just wanna get people on the phone. So that's what you said. So why would you say that?
I don't remember saying you should not follow up. Could you elaborate on what I said there? I'm sorry if I don't remember.
Because I asked you what CRM you use, and you said you don't need any CRM, you don't need to follow up. In case you can just use a Google Sheet.
Yeah.
Basically, you say your main focus is just to get people on the phone. But
exactly.
So don't you? Yeah.
I don't think I would have explicitly said you don't need to follow up. What you don't need is a CRM. Okay, anything formal, any kind of tool that you pay for, simply use Google Sheets. That's everything you need. And I know of a guy who's just made it to like 5 million in revenue with Google Sheets as a CRM. Okay, I'm not at that level yet, but I still use Google Sheets and it's perfectly fine. You don't need anything else. And in the Google Sheets, you have just simply columns where you then just give yourself one column that is for follow-up time. You just put a date sometimes in the future, and at some point you just filter by anything that is in the future, and then you just follow up with those people. Just filter by that. But I don't think you need a CRM. I think especially at your current stage would be.
I've got Trello anyway. Trello is free. You can try that actually.
Trello.
Yeah.
Trello you can use as a CRM.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's a basic one, but it does the job, I believe.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, just use any free tool that works for you. Sure.
Okay, well, I'll focus on that. And you think I should be aiming at least, to 25 a day?
Yeah. I mean, what else do you have to do?
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
It's just I like to have like targets, to hit.
Yeah. I would say, I think especially given that you're very early stage, I would post one piece of content in your space every week, just so that there's something of you out there that shows your expertise in this field. and engage with other people's content, where you add really valuable stuff, and especially nothing mindset-y, nothing, no politics or any other debates like this. No, you only add to posts where you showcase your expertise, where you add some value, showcase expertise. That would be, I would spend 1 hour on content, 2 hours per week on the comments, maybe 3, and the rest of the time is starting conversations. And there, as much as you can, I would say spend 10 minutes on each conversation start, so that you can really customize your approach. You really can learn about their company and spend 10 minutes. This means that in 6 hours, you can churn out 36. And then you deal with the responses. You need to calculate another probably 6 hours for that. So that's quite a bit for the day. So just pare it down, but I think if you just do 4 hours conversation start, and then another 2 hours, you won't need 4 hours, 2 hours for the conversation continuation, that makes it 6 hours. In those 4 hours, you can start 40 conversations. That can be the bulk of your day. And you'll see, if you really do that, and with the recipe that I suggested to you, you're going to have 5 calls next week. You're going to have 5 calls scheduled next week. I'm pretty sure.
I'll definitely try it. And content-wise, I actually I've been doing it for the past 3 weeks now. In 3 weeks, I've been posting like 3 to 4 posts a week.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think? I've been trying to.
It really depends on what is the post. I'm going to quickly take a look.
Yes, please. Been keeping the CTA very low friction, non-existent sometimes.
That's good. I would never put a CTA. I don't put CTAs in posts, but that's a matter of taste. Some people say you should, and they but very few. I would say like 20% of posts can have a CTA.
So like 80% value and 20 CTA.
Sorry?
Like 80% value and 20% CTA?
Yeah, that's a good ratio. Okay, so, all right, now you have an idea of what to test, what to focus on. It's time to organize your split test within the Facebook ad campaign structure, which is a 3-layer structure. You want to focus, okay. I would, especially with something very technical like this, I would have added an image where you are explaining it. You're like step 1, step 2, step 3. Right? All of that is really hard to read because you're explaining a very specific set of things in what to do in Facebook. Right? It just goes over many people's heads, I think.
Okay, makes sense.
Then it's all about split testing. It says
this was the first part. I broke it down into 3 different posts.
Oh, okay. I would always make a post that's self-contained. Nobody follows you in a way that, I wonder what's the continuation of that. This is always, every post needs to be self-contained. It says, all about split testing says every marketer ever. But what does it really mean? First of all, a split test is a marketing strategy with 2 variables of a marketing campaign. Okay, it's literally test anything. I think this needs a little bit more like a so what up front. I need to know like the added value earlier. But in general, it's not too bad. It's like especially given your relatively low amount of followers, you have really good engagement. You have 11 likes and 3 comments. That's pretty good. But it's just very difficult to digest. I would say, give me a little bit more of a so what. And then that's good. What are 3 things you're grateful for today? Beautiful family, espresso after lunch. What to know what yours are. Happy Sunday. That's okay. Yeah, sometimes is good. So I think it's also you never post any image, so that you are foregoing the opportunity to do some personal branding. Like with
what do you mean by images? Myself?
No, but just an image of, let me just quickly show my stuff. So that's a video, but you're also not doing any videos. I would strongly recommend you do that.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, this is an image, right? So I'm writing about how self-love is a stupid concept, and there I add an image that kind of it's an eye catcher, because you have to think, how do people use LinkedIn? They scroll through it, right? And so you need something to stop them from scrolling. This is my attempt at stopping them from scrolling, right? From self-love to self-respect. What else? So that's an image, right? I'm posting these watch images every day. Yeah, client testimonials, presentations work pretty well. Like add that, use different formats, and video. Definitely video. It's not going to get as many views as a text post will, but the relationship you build via video are much better.
Yeah, definitely. And do you schedule your content for the week? Like, do you use some sort of automation tools?
No, I just post. I have a bank of content that I know what I'm going to be posting about, and then on the day I pick whatever I feel like. And then also video comes from things like these, where I just talk into the camera, I record myself, my editor chops it up into segments, and then we post it as a video.
Okay, makes sense. So I'm using Buffer. Like I plan my content on Saturdays, and upload it on Buffer.
Yeah, that does. The Buffer is okay as long as you only post text and images. Anything other will then not.
Yeah.
You cannot post it via that, so videos won't work. But yeah, you can use it. That's fine.
Okay, makes sense. Cool. Thanks for everything, Michael.
No worries. Best of luck.
Thank you. I'll keep you posted. Yeah. I'll start tomorrow, if not now, and I'll text you. Let's say next week. So let's see how it goes. Thanks a lot again. Yeah, appreciate it.
Man. Ciao. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye bye.
The State of Client Acquisition is a Content 360 production. Music by Gavin Knox-Graham. To sign up for alerts and to submit written and audio questions, go to stateofclientacquisition.com. Unless I announce it otherwise, the live podcast is recorded on Wednesdays each week at 7 p.m. Central European Time. That's 6 p.m. UK time, 1 p.m. Eastern, and 10 a.m. Pacific. And you can always join by going to www.talktomichael.com. That's Michael without an E. But if you sign up at the podcast page, you'll get the link in an email each week. I'll talk to you in the next episode.
Rapid fire across the country, we slide tonight.